Tonight, come on in, take a load off, and sit back. Because NXT has left the door wide open for the next In Your House spectacular. Tonight, two street factions expect to raise the roof when Tony D'Angelo, Stacks, and Two Dimes take on Legado del Fantasma in a battle for control. In our main event, NXT champion Bron Breakker defends his title.
Were you expecting someone else? Tonight, we're gonna change the world. And in your house is no more.
And now, WWE presents NXT in Your House.
Weeks of anticipation come to a head with 5 championship matches on the night before. Raw SmackDown Superstars enter hell. NXT is in your house.
The following is the Battle for Control 6-man tag team match that is the one fall. Introducing first, Legado del Fantasma.
No doubt who the NXT Universe is behind tonight, but look, Wayne, the severity of this turf war has increased, as has the magnitude of this clash.
Oh man, this audience is amped up as well. They should be, because you're right. The way I see it, quite simply, the turf war ends tonight, one way or another. One family is going to gain themselves 3 or maybe 4 foot soldiers. The other family is going to be obliterated. The stakes and the reward this evening could not be higher.
To your point, there will be only one family left after tonight. Is going through the mind of Santos Escobar. Wait a minute. See Elektra Lopez? Obstructing the...
The leopard doesn't change its spots, we all know. The lads from the family have made good use of that crowbar over the past few months or so.
Life on the streets is not something you choose. It chooses you. But once it chooses you, you're all in. If not, the streets will chew you up and spit you out.
The pavement comes with rules. Follow them. Live by them. Or when you're the Don like Tony D'Angelo, you create them. Only the strong survive. There's no such thing as too far. You push everything as far as you can. You push and you push and you push until it starts pushing back. And then you push some more.
Information is power. Gotta know everything as soon as you know it, or sooner. And the smarter you get, the less you speak.
Respect don't mean jack. Respect in $2 gets you a candy bar. It's fear you crave. When you become feared, you fear nothing. And fear leads to control. And when you control the streets, you control your destiny. You start to print money hand over fist, and that is what tonight's about. control of the streets, Tony D's streets, and taking over Legato's streets. It's time to impose our will on Legado del Fantasma and take what's ours.
From AJ Galante and his father voicing that over for us. Thank you. Right now, the family own the streets, but if tonight doesn't go well, they might be sweeping the streets from tomorrow.
And their opponents, the team of Channing, Stacks Lorenzo, Troy, Two Dimes Donovan, and the Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo.
As you mentioned, the losing team will join the other team's family, and it's hard to imagine one of these families working for the other.
Yeah, absolutely. And yet it's hard to imagine whoever is going to be merged into the other family. It's hard to imagine they're going to be given privileged positions within the family.
Don doing the same to our official. Here's this moment.
Certainly no trust within either of these families.
Would you trust the other?
Good reason after the past couple of months or so. And listen, the humiliation that will be the complete loss of power for one of these families tonight is going to be huge.
Santos believes he's already into the mind of the Don, and it appears D'Angelo Escobar may be starting things off. Oh, Wild now checking himself in, and
tactical adjustments, that's
kidding.
all we're dealing with
as
here.
does Two Dimes. And Wild going right at Two Dimes, and here we go, officially underway. This match about all control. Whoa, from behind, shoulders down, and hey, it's only going to take 3 seconds for one of these families to join the other.
Futures will be forever changed. I've got to say, look at this. Santos Escobar, Tony D have not taken their eyes off one another. They are locked in.
Laser focus, and hey, early on in this match, I got to ask you, is the advantage to Legado del Fantasma?
For me, it has to be. I'll take nothing away from Tony D'Angelo and what he's achieved over the past year or so in NXT, but Santos and Legado just have decades of experience between them. Legado has been one step ahead of the family since the beginning in this one, from kidnappings to bringing brass knuckles into play. Escobar is a master of this game. We saw that when Santos pinned Tony D in a one-on-one match.
D'Angelo and Escobar have not taken their eyes off of one another as Del Toro roughed up a few weeks back, certainly wants to get himself a piece of the family.
Well, yeah, he was roughed up, but let's be honest, Del Toro was part of the crew. Originally rough.
Hey!
The consigliere AJ Galante. These families understand the laws of the streets. It's an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth.
Well, look, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but Del Toro right now in control. I'm sure Santos Escobar would have the new members of his family out on his yacht if Legado was victorious. Difference is, I bet you they'd be out there to clean it.
Oh, so that's funny to you, is it? The complete loss of power. This is no joke whatsoever. Could you imagine Tony D and his family cleaning the toilets on Santos Escobar's yacht?
Well, we've talked about D'Angelo and Escobar. It's time. Everyone on their feet as the leaders of their families are locking up. Ooh, right on the buttons, Escobar. Santos warned the Don, keep his business out of Legado's business. And all of a sudden, Stacks just stuck his nose in Escobar's, and the Don turns. Whoa! Hell breaking loose! Referee's got to get control back. Talk about control, the Don now in complete control. And again, Wade, tonight, not about a title, it's about power, dominance, and total control.
Well, I think the roof just got blown off this place already in the first match of the night. Listen, Santos Escobar answers to nobody. The man is an autocrat. The problem is the same can be said about Tony D. For either man, subordination would be the ultimate humiliation, a family disgrace.
We've seen this before from Del Toro, from Wild. And this is what you talked about earlier, the advantage of working together as one unit.
Familiarity that Legado del Fantasma have built over the years here in NXT and beyond.
And to think this all started with a disrespectful offer. Del Toro into the cover. Here we have new family members in Legado. Kick out by Two Dimes. I wonder what D'Angelo is feeling right now, if his heart is sinking to his stomach with every cover.
Yeah, the question is how much can he trust Stacks and Two Dimes, their relative inexperience here in NXT. Of course, a pinfall submission against one of those two, and it's game over for Tony D's family.
Del Toro picking up the pace, but there is the strength of Two Dimes. Look at the athleticism of Del Toro, and right under the jaw.
There is some fire in the belly. Del Toro until that moment. Genius.
Take another look. Crash and burn. Now Lorenzo in control. And this is the turning point possibly in this matchup. And look, there is no doubt Tony D has stepped his game up in recent months, as is his family.
Yeah, well, he's obviously got Lorenzo and Donovan trained incredibly well now, putting the boots, and this is where the family's going to be at their best. Stomping on opponents. They went through school together, ran the docks in Philly together. This is what they did to their opponents that entire time.
You hear Tony D shouting out, ooh, to his family. And if this breaks down into a street fight, a slugfest, then do you give the nod to the D'Angelo family?
Listen, the nod, the advantage in this match has gone back and forth. Too difficult to call. There is a real blood feud going on before our eyes. But right now, I would not bet against Tony D's family.
NXT Universe trying to will Del Toro back into this matchup. And look, when it comes to the D'Angelo family, they believe they have shown respect to the Emperor of Lucha Libre. I don't think Del Toro or the rest of Legado sees it that way.
Yeah, absolutely not. The Emperor of Lucha Libre had a dead fish put on his car, a boot on his car. You call that respectful? I'd hate to see disrespectful.
Right back into the matchup comes D'Angelo. And this is what we were talking about. If this match breaks out into a brawl, does it favor the D'Angelo family?
There's your answer right now. Tony D, a slugger at heart.
And can you imagine the duties D'Angelo would have Legado do when we talk about the losing family joining the other?
The Emperor of Lucha Libre going to be sent on the dry cleaning run, picking up that velvet tracksuit of Tony D. Is that what he's going to be reduced to?
Well, Donovan sending a message, as now is D'Angelo, and we see the family working together, chanting Lorenzo to the top, and boom, right down into the heart of Del Toro. Will this be enough? Is Legado about to join the family in a kick out at two?
Just a split second away from Legado being obliterated as we take another look at Lorenzo's high-flying skills, almost doing the job on Del Toro.
So much on the line in this six-man tag team matchup. It's going to be a lot different in the six-person mixed tag team match tomorrow night at Hell in a Cell. Morgan, Styles, Balor versus the Judgment Day. Different stakes, though, tonight here at In Your House.
Absolutely, this is as big as it gets right here, and Cruz Del Toro looks to be slipping away before our eyes.
Once again, trying to rally is Del Toro. Back to his feet, just trying to create a little bit of separation. Desperately needs to make a tag. Finally has found his way free, but look at Lorenzo.
The tank is just empty on Del Toro right now, reaching for that tag. I would not want to put any money on it getting made.
Oh, nice takedown. Roll through.
Nice.
And here comes the Emperor of Lucha Libre. Hit the time.
Two patriarchs at war with one another.
Oh! Well, friendly fire just wiped out Two Dimes. D'Angelo taken down by Escobar.
Certainly not seen moves like that on the streets, that's for sure.
Escobar literally wiping out the Don's family. Double axe handle connects. We wonder about the mindset of both families. It's about laying it on the line. Legado is in control.
Legado looking like a pack of high-flying hyenas.
Take a look at this high-flying action, laying it on the line. The stakes have never been higher between these 6 superstars. The winning family. They will have a new couple of family members as Escobar trying to make the Don his own personal chauffeur. A neck out by the Don. Oh, that was close.
Tony D's family in complete disarray now, getting a taste of his own medicine at the hands of the Emperor of Lucha Libre.
D'Angelo doing his best. Escobar knows the stakes. He has been in high-profile matches throughout his entire NXT career. Wait a minute! Stacks! Lorenzo! Crash and burn again! I mean, at this point, Wade, we have seen both these teams lay it on the line. We've seen them maybe deliver their best shot. What is the other going to have to do to win and survive?
Well, who has anything left in the tank at this point? I certainly wasn't expecting Cruz del Toro up and swinging.
I got to stand corrected. I question if Legado would want to get into a slugfest. Right now, it's Del Toro bringing it, but 2 Dimes answering back.
Let's face it, Legado can certainly hold their own in any form of fighting style, as we are witnessing.
Is this going to be the moment? 2 Dimes, Stacks, D'Angelo, are they about to join Legado? Del Toro. Oh, had to roll through, back to his feet, and Donovan just wiped out Del Toro. What a clothesline. Lorenzo wants him some.
Del Toro completely glassy-eyed, has to be right for the pickings here.
Oh, bada bing. Oh. Wild heads up, Del Toro. Catching Lorenzo. Tag. Wild's legal. Lorenzo doesn't realize it. If he didn't know, he knows now. We've seen this in the past. Legado got all of it. Cover. Count. And 2 Dimes just saw the family's life slip between Lorenzo's fingers. This certainly is, and this is how we're kicking off in your house. Who will be the last family standing? All 6 men, things breaking down once again.
NXT is simply not big enough for both families. Only one can stand tall.
Ooh! Action spilling out everywhere. Right to our left in the ring, to our right, Elektra Lopez looking at. Whoa. Brass knuckles?
Old faithful for Santos Escobar. This is how he beat Tony D 2 weeks ago.
Wait a minute. Lorenzo.
Oh, we got an arms race. Crowbar in play behind the referee.
Oh, Wild saw it though. Wild now. Oh! Just cracked Stacks.
It's got to be out cold.
Oh, what a right hand by D'Angelo.
That was no ordinary right hand.
2 Dimes. Lorenzo. Stacks is out. Wait a minute. Oh, no.
Here are your winners, the team of Troy 2 Dimes Donovan, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, and the Dawn of NXT, Tony D'Angelo.
Oh my word, what did we just see?
Reality is setting in for Santos Escobar. Legado now has to join the D'Angelo family. Push everything as far as you can was the message from the Galante family to the D'Angelos. Bam! Donovan took it to heart, as did Stacks, as did Tony D. But give credit where credit is due to Legado del Fantasma. This was quite a six-man tag team match. Legado right here almost have the D'Angelos under their wing.
But here's where things started to turn for the worse for Legado del Fantasma. Both men down. We needed 6 referees in there because this is where the brass knucks came into play.
And this is where you said Old Faithful came in for Santos Escobar. This is where things started to break down. Both tried to one-up the other. Wild, able to stay one step of Tony D'Angelo. But look at Stacks. Bam! Sacrificing himself. But here's what you mentioned. That was no ordinary right hand. Brass knuckles in the right fist of Tony D'Angelo. 2 times had the presence of mind to push over Stacks. Stacks fell right onto a fallen Wild. And now Legado is in the family.
Here are your winners.
And Legado now has a new family and a new God to answer to.
To understand me now, I have to explain my past and embrace my heritage. I come from a long line of warrior women who roamed Scotland. Among those women stood the Firekeeper. She kept a flame burning because it was vital to survival, while the others learned to live off the land. I have to ignite the spirits of my ancestors that have been dormant for far too long. Since coming to NXT, I have gained success, but have fallen short in reaching my maximum potential. Now I'm the Firekeeper, forging my future and leaving my opponents in ashes where they lie. When the smoke starts to surround you and you're gasping for air, remember, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Did she just say Firekeeper? The only thing worse than getting burnt by fire is listening to a woman complain about her past. I mean, she used to be like that, but she ain't like that no more.
Are you really gonna keep running your mouth like that? Or are you gonna go ahead and ask Alba for a damn match?
Excuse me? A match with Miss Firemaker? Girl, please. If she got in the ring with me, I'd officially make her ancient history. And just like you know, Lash Legend ain't the one to be messed with. Cause I'm the one and only and you can't clone me, okay?
If you won't do it, then I will.
That girl got issues.
Always drama around Lash Legend, but earlier today, our champion arrived here for his showdown with Joe Gacy. The question has been for weeks, can Bron Breakker control his emotions? Because tonight, if Breakker gets disqualified, he loses his NXT title. We talk about momentum, we talk about having a great time. That's all about Chance and Carter, who also hold a victory over our champions heading in to tonight's championship showdown.
Well, let's pump the brakes on that one because there's a party here and everyone's going hard in NXT. I'm surprised Drew McIntyre's not here dancing like we saw him on SmackDown a few weeks ago. But this narrative about Carter and Chance getting themselves a victory over Toxic Attraction, yes, they have had a win a long time ago. It was the early days of Toxic Attraction. Toxic A were still bonding, still building chemistry, still learning about each other. There's a very different Toxic A today, and they have molded themselves into the most dominant tag team in the women's division history here in NXT. Chance and Chase and Carter have a huge night ahead of them, and it is going to be tough.
I think you're just jealous you didn't get any glow sticks.
Ladies, let's do this.
Toxic.
That's certainly one way to make an entrance. And let's just call it what it is. This might become a very long night for Toxic Attraction.
Very long night.
Very long
What are you
night.
basing that on?
6-0's long night.
Look, Toxic Attraction are the champions. They expect nights like this. You are already stood up in your haters' pulpit like you have been from day one when it comes to Toxic Attraction. A perennial hater, Vic Joseph, that's what you are. Yeah, you're right. It could be a long night.
So you agree?
No, it could be a long night if you take the most negative assumptions possible about how this evening is going to go for the tag champs, Toxic Attraction. And of course, later on, Mandy Rose, the NXT Women's Champion, who will be defending her title. But it could also be the most glorious night in Toxic Attraction's history too. And I know which side of that I'd be betting on.
You look at it one way, I'll look at it one way, but we can both look at this match for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles moments away.
The following contest scheduled for one fall is for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers, the team of Katana Chance and Kayden Carter. And their opponents, they are the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, Toxic Attraction.
A little bit of history being made here tonight. This is the first time ever the NXT Women's Tag Team titles have been defended at an In Your House. And that is what it is all about. And let's talk about Chance and Carter before this matchup officially begins. They've had their ups and their downs in their careers, but could tonight be the culmination? Could tonight be? Oh, and right off rip.
Yeah, it's not looking good to answer your question, is it? Immediately turning their backs on the tag champs.
Yeah, and look, the bell hasn't even rung yet. This match hasn't even officially begun.
This referee needs to get control of it, doesn't it? Do your job.
Oh! Well, Chance and Carter weathering the storm early on. I think you might need to change your tune. This could be a huge night, a golden night for Chance and Carter.
Okay, look, to answer your question when it comes to Chance and Carter, they've been tagging together now for... Finally,
Here we go.
Good job.
Oh, look, there's no one for Jane to tag. She's all by herself for the moment.
Look, Chance and Carter tagging together for, what, 2 years? That first 12 months of their run together.
Cover.
Filled with L's. What I like about them, though, is that they persisted. They kept at it, didn't let their heads drop. They worked with the coaches in NXT and constantly brought new offense to the ring every single time.
It's on display right now.
You see them, and they're still doing it to this day. They've constantly improved. They kept trying new things until eventually it clicked, and that's when they've ridden this wave of momentum to this championship opportunity. Now they're on the precipice of making history.
I believe a tag was made. Dolan is now illegal. Chance is not realizing, but a handful of hair later, she certainly found out the hard way. And look, it's because of the love of the NXT Universe. That is what has pushed the challengers into this match. And Dolan in the cover to retain. Chance able to kick out at 2.
Love of the NXT.
Yeah, the love and the admiration. You saw it in the beginning.
That's all great. It's very easy to see why the NXT Universe likes Chance and Carter. Upbeat, high energy, creative. Cheers ain't going to win you the big matches, though. Chance and Carter have never competed on a premium live event before.
Oh, into the cover and another kick out, and that premium live event still trending #1. Has Jane in control, and well, Chance around the wrong part of town. But look, they believe tonight is their night, that their time has come. You talk about their first premium live event. I'm sure they have extra butterflies, but that should help the drive and their determination. Because right now, all we're seeing from Toxic Attraction is same old, just mocking their opponents. Maybe they don't take them seriously enough. That might bite them in the butt.
Okay, they believe this is their time. You know what I believed during my career? I believed that I was going to be a world champion. I believed that I was going to main event WrestleMania. Didn't happen. Belief only takes you so far. You have to deliver in the ring. And right now, who's delivering? To me, it's Gigi and Jason.
Well, they have gone on record as saying no duo or team can hang with them in NXT.
And they're right about that. Who has been able to hang with them?
Are you their PR director?
I'm not their PR. I just tell it like it is. I'm not the hater that you are.
Well, did you not see Dolan cutting a couple of corners there, holding back Chance by her hair?
Well, it's working, isn't it? If the referee isn't calling it, keep at it.
Another quick tag, and Dolan making her way back in, and the champions have been in control of this matchup. And look, I'll give you another chance to glow.
Every matchup they've been in since winning the championship, virtually they've been in complete control, with a rare exception.
Oh! And Dolan trying to isolate Carter, continuing to work on Chance. Have you ever seen a group as dominant in a women's division like Toxic Attraction? I think I already know the answer to this. Should have asked it.
Well, yeah, of course, because it's an obvious answer. In recent memory, there's been nothing like Toxic Attraction. They have been sublime since inception. And you have to credit Mandy Rose for not only having the ability, but more importantly, the vision to put this trio together and to pull Jane and Dolan up to her own superstar level. That is great leadership. And I know a thing or two about leadership.
Well, you can just go out right here on Peacock to find out your leadership. You can find it on demand. Is now Chance. Whoa, here's some of that interesting tag team continuity, but Dolan's momentum carried her into Jane, and Jane able to cut Chance off.
Great championship instincts there from Gigi Dolan. That's part of why these two are so good.
And now Carter finally making her way in. Swinging and missing, Carter taking out Dolan. And now Carter's been waiting patiently to check her way back into the matchup, and is now turning things around on her own accord.
Calls herself the Spitfire of NXT, and you can see quite literally why that is.
2 for 1. Don't mistake their kindness for weakness. Carter and Chance out here to prove that hard work pays off. Oh, could that be the knockout blow? Titles are on the line. Challengers into the cover, and a kick out. Able to kick out at 2 was Jane.
Perfect connection there from Carter. Jane just enough in the tank. Badly needs that tag, although Dolan on the outside isn't looking too clever herself right now. Oh!
Quite the forearm from Jane, and Jane said on Twitter tonight they will show no mercy. She certainly has lived up to the billing, as has Gigi Dolan.
Well, when you're in a championship match, gold is on the line.
Another cover by the champions, and this matchup going to continue. Another near fall.
Mercy can never be an option. You keep swinging until your opponent stops moving.
Speaking of swinging, Dolan right now just teeing off. Another quick tag, and Jane right back into the matchup. As of late, it seemed Jane and Dolan have kind of been out of sorts, but they seem quite focused here tonight.
Out of sorts. Look, imagine you were squirted with water from a toilet. Imagine what that would do to you.
Water.
Have you ever been smacked in the face with a ball sack, Vic?
I can honestly say no.
Well, I'm guessing you'd be out of sorts if you had.
Double stop into the cover. Chance, and ooh, that might have been their best chance to capture the gold. Carter just is shocked But Jane continuing to fight. And look, I got to give credit when credit is due to Toxic Attraction. They brought their A game tonight.
Toxic Attraction have been the victims in NXT for the past couple of months. Well, tonight they are setting the record straight.
Well, Dolan, Dolan is rocked. What is Chance thinking?
Whoa! How on earth do they come up with this stuff?
Into the cover! Is this gonna be it? New champions, and Shane again able to kick out at 2.
Just a whisker away, and you see it written all over the face of Carter, the frustration knowing that their best offense has not been enough. 2 or 3 times now they thought they'd put this one to bed, but Toxic Attraction just too good.
This is the sisterhood, this is the bond. Carter looked right over at Chance with a head. Now Dolan! And remember, I think a tag was made, and Chance is legal. Chance left out to dry. Jane taking full advantage. Right place, right time for Dolan. And now look at the eyes of Jane. Nasty intentions in her eyes as she tags in Dolan.
He's completely isolated here. High low, this.
Cover, and Carter saves the match for her team.
Sheer grit and determination now from Kayden Carter, bulldozing her way over that pin.
All 4 women are down. NXT Women's Tag Team titles on the line.
Really is up for grabs now as we take another look at this from Gigi and JC. Should have been enough to put this one to bed, but no, the Spitfire living up to her name once again.
This is the moment that Carter and Chance have been waiting for, have been fighting for. The determination in their eyes and in their hearts. Can they pull through here tonight? Jane's rocked. Jane's dropped. And Carter may have just taken herself out, and that just leaves Chance and Dolan. NXT Universe starting to rise to their feet. They could see a golden moment for Chance and Carter. And now Katana Chance.
These ladies bringing it all in there. The upper hand goes to the challengers.
Didn't get all of it. Did she get enough of it? Into the cover. Do we have new champions in your house? And another near fall.
I think if that connection was slightly tighter, we'd have new champs right now.
Carter now tagging herself in. And now, here is that textbook. Chance and Carter offense. We've seen them win so many matches in the past. Will it win them gold here tonight? And what? Jane from the outside.
Championship timing. That's what that's called.
Well, how about this timing? Oh, no, did not work out for Chance. Carter wiping out Jane, focusing in on Dolan. Dolan slithering down the back. Carter now rolling through. Is this gonna be enough? Shoulders down, another near fall. Oh, Jane on the outside. Official didn't see it.
Oh, high landing.
Toxic Attraction retains the gold.
Here are your winners, and still the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, Toxic Attraction.
What a drawn-out affair. That ended up as oscillated wildly all over the arena, swinging back and forth in terms of momentum. But what I tell you, it's already started as a glorious evening for Toxic Attraction.
Let's go back to some of the action in the matchup right here. Carter thought she might have the matchup but kick out, and the referee did not see JC Jane's interference, bam, which led to, as you mentioned, a nasty landing for Carter, which was just enough for Toxic Attraction to remain the attraction in NXT.
Yes, boy, look at that. You look phenomenal. You've nailed that. You really have.
Will we beat the Creeds?
Yes, we will.
Yes. Boy.
I hate Brutus.
I hate Julius.
We hate the Creed brothers.
Creed brothers. Yes, boy.
Well, James, look relaxed. Yes, boy.
Well, never mind that. Diamond Mine focused on tonight. The Creed brothers focus on the challenge at hand. Of course, the Creed brothers don't leave with the gold. They are out of Diamond Mine. That match to come later tonight.
Hey, Mello, let's get it back.
Trick Williams at his side. Carmelo Hayes enters a matchup he believes he should win. He believes he needs to be champion once again.
Oh man, does he not look slick, as does Trick Williams. Look, it's Hayes' opinion that the North American title needs him to be champ again. No doubt about it, the stock of the North American Championship went up massively during the reign of Mello. And right now, he's concerned that his work is being eroded thanks to the reign of Cameron Grimes. And hey, who am I to argue with Trick and Mello? When they talk their talk, the world listens. And I'm included in that.
As much as he believes, he does not believe in the current champion, that being Cameron Grimes. He's soaking it all in from the NXT universe here live tonight for In Your House. Typically, we see Hayes smiling, joking. He is focused tonight.
He looks a little pensive. He knows how big the stakes are this evening. Rarely get bigger.
Well, the North American champion back from his trip from the moon.
Back from his trip to the moon, and perhaps quite appropriately coming crashing back down to earth this evening.
Well, Grimes is hoping for a different result here at In Your House than the one he had last year, and he has proven a lot of doubters wrong and has answered all his doubters except for one, that being his opponent here tonight.
The following contest scheduled for one fall is for the NXT North American Championship. Introducing the challenger, accompanied by Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes. And his opponent, he is the NXT North American Champion, Cameron Grimes.
You know, you run your mouth a lot, Vic, and you just said something that was complete nonsense. You said the only doubter left was Carmelo Hayes.
He's got one person.
Cameron Grimes. No, I can think of at least two others. One is Trick Williams in the ring right now. The other is me. And I will tell you this, the only way Grimes will prove us all wrong is by defeating Carmelo Hayes this evening. Something he is yet to do, in my opinion.
Okay, so you've considered Grimes to be lucky almost, it seems, every single month this year and even into last year. What else does he need to do to make Wade Barrett get approval?
Well, to be clear, Mello also called him lucky. Grimes won the North American title in a ladder match at NXT Stand and Deliver WrestleMania weekend.
Yes.
The then champ, Mello, the man on your screen right now, wasn't factored in that decision at all. In my opinion, you are not the real champion until you decisively beat the old champ one-on-one.
He's put the title on the line in a ladder match.
Tonight is Grimes' opportunity to put it all to bed.
We'll agree to disagree, but look, not just luck, perhaps history on Grimes' side tonight. North American title has never changed hands at a June Premium Live event.
And that is absolutely fine, because as we know, Melo is a history maker.
Well, we also know that Solo Sikoa is watching closely. Sikoa has started his own countdown clock on social media as Hayes able to land on his feet. And again, another stalemate between these two. Oh, swing and a miss now. Grimes rolling through. Right back on top, inside cradle, shoulders down. Jockeying for position, near fall for both superstars. And again, both these guys know each other so very well. Another roll through center of the ring, shoulders down. Hayes switching gears, another kick out. Switching momentum, more like it. Again, a roll through, a nice bridge from Grimes. Looking for the backslide, able to get it, shoulders down, and almost able to retain. Hayes for a moment looking over at Trick Williams, asking him, what do I need to do? And I said, no, just... And that's going to help him too much in this matchup.
Two competitors as fluid as water for my money. The two best movers in the men's division. I have to give the edge to Carmelo, but it is close. Exactly what I would anticipate for a start between these two.
When it comes to champion and challenger, Grimes' confidence is much different than the challengers. Whoa, looking for that cave-in. And so close. And you just saw, you see in Hayes' eyes, almost like he saw a ghost with Trick Williams on the outside.
He knew his opportunity was close to slipping away there, but Carmelo Hayes, to be clear, has zero confidence issues. It's cool, Grimes gets cheered. Hayes doesn't care about that, though. Hayes has been to the top of this mountain once before, and he's ready to do it again.
Almost on cue, NXT Universe showing love to the North American champion.
Showing disrespect to Trick Williams, that's what they're doing.
It has nothing to do with
have some manners.
It has nothing to do with Carmelo Hayes not believing in himself, because of course he does. Here's the difference. Grimes doesn't have to go around and talk about his success. Doesn't need to flaunt it. All you ever hear Carmelo Hayes talk about is himself.
Grimes hasn't had anywhere near the level of success that Carmelo Hayes has, though. Carmelo Hayes won the breakout tournament in the men's division, won the North American Championship. Main events week after week on NXT.
Champion into the cover to retain, and a nice little pop-up there by Hayes.
Grimes, on the other hand, he got lucky with some meme stocks. He won a couple of games of poker, and then won the North American Championship in a match where he didn't have to pin the champ.
You're talking about a rags to riches stories
it's a wonderful story, but
I understand.
It's a fairy tale.
Carmelo Hayes put the title on line against other competitors willingly in a ladder match, WrestleMania Saturday. And look, I'm not saying Cameron Grimes has always been, the nicest guy. Yeah, he flaunted at one point, but he realized he was wrong, and when he realized that, he was able to turn his career around and make himself into a champion.
You said he's defended that championship since he's won it. He has.
Yeah,
he's
twice.
wanted to defend it, though, against everyone other than the former champ, Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes should have had the first opportunity at that championship.
Cameron Grimes doesn't make the matches.
And he should have gone and knocked on the manager's door.
Big high crossbody off the top. Is this going to be it? Are we going to see a retention? And Hayes able to kick out at 2. Cameron Grimes doesn't make the matches. Management does. And you know what? He did defend the title against Carmelo Hayes. It was a triple threat match where Grimes didn't even need to be factored in the decision to lose the title.
Cameron Grimes was very quick to demand an opportunity for the North American Championship. Why didn't he demand a defense against the former champion, Carmelo Hayes? Whichever way you spin it, for my money, he's been ducking Hayes.
Oh, and just got dropped by Hayes. Face first, Trick Williams loved what he is seeing, but of course, Cameron Grimes has to be brought back into the ring by the challenger. Only way the championship can change hands, pinfall or submission.
Yeah, tonight, unlike at Stand and Deliver where you had to climb a ladder, that's the difference. Tonight, we're going to find out who the real champion is.
And Carmelo Hayes now trying to answer back, goes up, goes down, and what a DDT!
Oh my, the referee needs to go out there and check on Cameron Grimes. He took a nasty landing there.
NXT Universe in disbelief. Take another look. Oh, sticking the landing was Cameron Grimes.
That was sickening.
But again, Hayes has to get Grimes back into the ring, and this is the moment now. Carmelo Hayes can certainly turn this matchup around. And I'll say this, we talk about confidence. Hayes has known his worth since the day he arrived in NXT.
Anyone with a pair of eyes, apart from you apparently, Victor,
I just said he knew his worth. I knew his worth.
See Melo's worth from day one. He turns up, wins the breakout tournament, wins the North American Championship, wins the men's War Games matchup, is a perennial best performer of the night here in NXT. Melo is a guy you can build this entire brand around, and it's incredibly rare that any of us can say that about anyone.
Well, Hayes has also gone on record and has even said earlier in this matchup that the North American Championship needs him, and he truly believes the title needs him.
Well, the man makes the title. I agree with Melo on that one. Every superstar on planet Earth looks better with a little gold around the waist.
Come on!
All's fair in love and war, Vic. The North American Championship.
Into the cover goes a challenger. Quick kick out by Grimes. Hayes didn't like that, tries it again. Another quick kick out. Hayes having a little bit of an issue with the official.
North American Championship has never looked better than when it was attached to Carmelo Hayes. Some were even saying at the time that Melo made the North American Championship more important than the NXT title itself. Don't personally agree with that, but the fact that it was being said really speaks volumes for the caliber of champion that Melo was.
Well, there's that athleticism, and Hayes catching Grimes, turns him right around. Hayes now has really had Grimes on the back foot for the last few moments, and the one thing I'll also say about Carmelo Hayes, he said Grimes doesn't deserve to be champion. That's quite a harsh statement.
Well, he doesn't deserve to be champion if he hasn't defeated the former champion on one-on-one match.
Still stuck on that.
It's not stuck on it. That's the story of this. That's why we're in this position. That's why we have these uncertainties between these two. It's not going to change until this match concludes.
Oh, and look at Carmelo Hayes flying through the air effortlessly. Is this going to bring the North American title back around his waist? Grimes able to kick out at 2. Hayes looking over at Trick Williams. You wonder what's going through the mind now of Carmelo Hayes. Is Hayes going to press a little bit?
Well, that was the first sign of a little frustration on the face of the former North American champion, Carmelo Hayes. You ask, is he going to press? This is a championship match. You always have to press in a matchup like this. It changes the course of a career if you win. But Melo, he's a generational talent. His third gear is like everybody else's fifth gear. This guy has something special in store every single night, and he's delivering for me thus far.
2, 3. Wait, what's Trick? What's Williams doing? The official talking to Hayes, not realizing. Oh, so I'm assuming you think this is all fair. That this is right. Grimes having a fight with one arm. Whoa, finally able to break free, and Williams becoming the X factor on the outside. Grimes gets dropped. Hayes taking full advantage into the cover, hook of the leg, and Grimes continuing to fight, just getting the left shoulder up. And now Hayes again in disbelief.
See this again with Cameron Grimes here. Going for something huge, backfiring on him, and Carmelo Hayes showing that movement we talked about earlier.
Near fall. Hayes continuing to focus now on the upper body of Cameron Grimes.
Grimes looking like a beaten and broken man. He just has not been the same since that DDT on the apron.
Oh, he's also out here fighting 2 competitors. It seems Trick Williams keeps sticking his nose.
Cameron Grimes made his name predicting the future of the stock market. If he didn't predict that Trick Williams was somehow going to get involved in this matchup, then the whole thing has been a ruse from the beginning.
Well, Grimes back to his feet, and now Cameron Grimes needs to start putting some offense together. Needs to start changing the momentum of this matchup as Hayes just got, and again Williams sticking his nose in this matchup. Carmelo Hayes turning things around, and now, just got caught, got dropped. You talk about playing the stocks. There's a lot of risk in the stock market. There's a lot of risk for Cameron Grimes, but also a lot of reward for the North American champion.
How the hell do you pull off a move like that at the best of times, let alone when your tank has to be near empty? Cameron Grimes running on fumes, pulling out something like that is a shocker.
Williams trying to fire up Carmelo Hayes as Grimes trying to reach down deep. Grimes said each time he steps into the ring, he wants to prove he is the best. Well, Carmelo Hayes certainly believes he is just that.
Cameron Grimes looking like he's on jelly legs right now. That's the issue. Throwing those punches, nothing to back them up with, though. Mello looking like the fresh man he is.
Grimes been a fighting champion, just wants to compete, and that's what he's doing right now. Here at In Your House, stepping up to the challenge. And every time it seems Grimes gets going, Hayes shuts him down. But now Hayes, talk about jelly legs. Rubber legs right now for the challenger in the champion. Can feel the momentum shifting.
Right on the point of the jaw of Carmelo, wobbling all over the place at this point. Still just enough left in the tank to keep swinging.
This could be it to retain the North American title. Hayes continuing to fight free, and you can take nothing away from Carmelo Hayes. I've never disrespected the superstar, disrespected the antics perhaps. I thought they've been disrespectful to those like Cameron Grimes, who puts it on the line every single night he steps into the ring.
Well, I will never question the heart, the desire, the grit and determination of Cameron Grimes. Well, he's going to need all of it now to pull out something special against Mello.
These two almost in overtime, if you want to think about it. Super kick under the jaw, legs buckle. Grimes falls into the cover to retain and
Perfect ring awareness from Carmelo Hayes when you thought all hope was lost. The generational talent himself reaching out for that bottom rope, and of course, Grimes cannot believe his luck.
Well, at this juncture, you've been in championship matches, you've been in high-profile matches. What is going through the champion's mind? What's going through the challenger's mind?
I'm telling you, at this point in the matchup, I knew I was losing. I had very little left in the tank, and I was going south quick. But it's all on the line at this point.
Look for that. Nasty landing. Both these superstars are going to be competing at a high level. Into the cover. This has to be it. Grimes kicks out again.
What on earth is it going to take to put one of these two men away?
Well, I think Hayes has an idea. We've seen Carmelo Hayes fly from the top before, win many of championship matches this way. Able to roll through. Grimes had it well scouted. Right back in. Going to the well one too many times is Hayes. Both men meeting in the middle. This time it's Grimes into the cover. Again, another near fall.
Such a late kick out.
NXT Universe believes that was it. Referee looked to be in great position. This could be the moment now for Grimes. Looking for that cave-in, instead pump kick. Nice strike back by the champion to the challenger. Poison Rana connects this time. Did it ever.
Fortuitous slide out of the ring. Or perhaps not.
Williams finally getting his. And Grimes finally wiping out the X Factor on the outside.
Grimes with all of the momentum slowed down once again by Trick Williams, proving his worth to Carmelo Hayes this evening.
And Williams, for his troubles, gets a cave-in. Grimes now can turn his full attention to the challenger. Face first went Grimes.
Nasty crash into the turnbuckle, and can Carmelo Hayes make make it all count.
Hayes sees his opening, and Hayes drops the champion.
Connected, perfection.
Into the cover. And for the second time, Hayes is the North American champion.
Here is your winner, your new NXT North American champion, Carmelo Hayes.
Well, what an epic struggle between two of the best in-ring here in NXT, but the short and the long of it is that shot in your picture right now. The A-Champ is back.
And you got to give credit to Trick Williams, but also your heart goes out to someone like Cameron Grimes. Williams, the X factor throughout the entire matchup. As you said, well, what was your quote? Proved his worth to Carmelo Hayes here tonight.
It was balanced on a knife edge throughout, went back and forward, both competitors having their opportunities to pop this one away until Trick Williams got involved numerous times, but this was the crucial moment, taking one for the team, distracting Cameron Grimes just long enough for Carmelo Hayes to set this up. Now this to perfection. Good night, everybody. You ain't kicking out of this one. We got a new North American champion.
Take a look at the height from Hayes.
Jordan hang time.
Even better, as Carmelo Hayes becomes a two-time North American champion, as there's Trick Williams as excited as ever for his best friend Carmelo Hayes. And as he says time and time again, when Melo shoots, he don't miss.
We've studied his every move. Bron Breakker's days as NXT champion are no longer numbered. His minutes as NXT champion are no longer numbered. His seconds as NXT champion are numbered. Our time has come. We've reached our moment. We've torn down nostalgia, and now we'll tear down the present in hopes of building a new future. Tonight, I leave in your house a beacon of change. Tonight, I leave the new NXT champion.
What a night it's been here at In Your House. Already certainly lived up to billing, and guess what? We're only halfway through.
And earlier tonight, we saw Toxic Attraction retain the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. Will the same be said for Mandy Rose? Because in just a matter of moments, the NXT Women's Championship will be on the line against the whimsical Wendy Choo.
Toxic Attraction, the ladies who hold all the gold in NXT.
When I became champ, you all thought that my title reign was gonna be short. Well, how many days has it been? 200 and counting!
The brains, the beauty, the gold. We are the measuring stick that no one can reach.
Whoa, Wendy Choo!
Super Soaker?
Ain't nothing wrong with a Super Soaker.
I will do whatever it takes so this child is not your next women's champion. She looks like she belongs in Candyland or Wonderland or Neverland.
How old is Wendy Choo?
Unconventional, to say the least.
So Wendy, you can play your game one.
Delivering one final message to the champion, Mandy Rose by Wendy Choo.
Here is your winner and new NXT Women's Champion, Wendy Choo. And new NXT Women's Champion and new NXT.
That was quite the dream. Good times maybe about to roll in the women's division.
You think Wendy Choo as champ would be good times?
Certainly do.
You're out of your mind.
Skittles, love it.
Okay, let me pull you up on that. I have got a question. What on earth do you think is going to happen if Wendy Choo becomes women's champion?
Arcade games,
Yeah.
mini corn dogs. What do you mean? What am I going to
Slurpee
Candy machines.
machines on every
Oh,
corner.
yes.
What are you out of your mind? A
Smiley
child.
face potatoes,
Oh.
dinosaur nuggets. I love it.
Only a child would want any of those things. And thankfully, the next person out is far from a child.
And for over 220 days, Mandy Rose has been the face of the NXT Women's Division.
Those have been the best 220 days of my entire life. And counting, they've been the best 220 days for the entire women's division.
Why did you just wink back at the monitor? She wasn't winking at you. You understand that.
Okay, let me keep my train of thought. Okay? But the women of NXT should be lining up to thank this lady, Mandy Rose, for what she has done for the women's division. They should be asking to kiss her beautiful feet, because she has put them all front and center where they should be. In fact, I even heard if not for Mandy Rose, there wasn't going to be a women's breakout tournament this year. She's so benevolent, she knocked on management's door and demanded that they get a breakout tournament for women. That's what
Did you just put cologne on again? She can't smell you. What are you doing?
I was sat next to Mandy Rose last Tuesday on NXT, and she called me honey.
No one else heard that.
We have a tight relation. Nope.
Well, the evidence might be here tonight of Wendy Choo becoming the new face of the women's division.
The following contest scheduled for one fall is for the NXT Women's Championship. Introducing first the challenger, Wendy Choo. And her opponent, representing Toxic Attraction, she is the NXT Women's Champion, Mandy Rose.
Well, all Rose did not like the hijinks of Wendy Choo, and much like we saw from her counterparts earlier tonight, getting a fast start before the bell.
Yeah, and you can't blame her. After everything that Wendy Choo has put Mandy Rose through over the past couple of months, Wendy Choo deserved that minute.
Now, let's be honest, Rose is nothing but a stick in the mud. Called Wendy Choo a child on Tuesday. Drew trying to showcase exactly what she could bring to the table.
It's called our female champion Stick in the Mud. Why? Because she doesn't laugh at being hit with spitballs? I don't like juvenile antics either. Does that make me a stick in the mud?
Yes, it does. And I wish Wendy Choo would hit you with a spitball into your seats.
Let's see.
Well, Choo taking it right now to the champion with a backslide. Shoulders are down. Quick kick out by Rose. I think at the end of the day, Choo's just misunderstood. Cyndi Lauper said it best. Girls just want to have fun.
Well, girls can do whatever they want when they're away from NXT. This is not an environment for girls. It's an environment for grown-ass women. People like Mandy Rose, professional. It is a wild world out there, Wendy Choo, and it's that time you grow up.
Well, enough of the antics that you've talked about really has set Mandy Rose over the edge, just swinging away on Choo. Rose demands respect be put on her name.
Yeah, and I demand it too. A lot of people demand that the respect gets put on the name of Mandy Rose. How many people thought Mandy Rose in NXT was just a short-term transitional project? Huh? Come down to NXT, get refreshed, have a cup of coffee, and then leave again. All wrong. All wrong. Mandy Rose has dominated and decimated the competition.
Another quick kick out by Choo.
Conquering all comers. Yeah, it's about time we put some respect on the name Mandy Rose. 220 days and counting.
Yeah, it's counting, and I don't take away the reign and what Mandy Rose has done in NXT, but to get respect,
magnanimous of you.
But to get respect, shouldn't you show respect? All she's done is talk down to everyone.
She has shown respect and deference to the division and the championship, unlike Wendy Choo, who is here to play games. And that's the difference. Is Wendy Choo showing Mandy Rose respect when she burns her in a tanning salon, when she throws acidic Slurpees in her eyes? No.
Well, look, maybe if Rose wasn't too worried about looks in brands, she might be able to make some friends in this division.
What's wrong?
People wouldn't look down on the champion, wouldn't be angry with the champion, wouldn't want to turn a tanning bed to 10, wouldn't want to throw sugarless Slurpees. That was sugar-free when he told me.
Acidic either way. But look, you've got a problem with Mandy Rose being concerned about her looks?
Shoulders down.
This is the entertainment industry. I don't care if you're male, female, or whatever. Looks are important. You know what? I got my hair cut yesterday because I knew we had a massive event tonight in your house. I wanted to look my best. You apparently went out and got yourself a mismatched Canadian tuxedo because that's your idea of looking your best. It's all looks, isn't it? It's important. And to deny that is just wrong.
I thought you were just trying to cut out some of the grays that are on your head now. Is Choo focusing back in and gets taken out by Rose once again.
Am I getting glazed?
You certainly are. And a cover. Count and Choo again getting a kick. I can imagine all the gray hairs you'd have if Wendy Choo became the NXT Women's Champion. You couldn't fathom a world where Choo was champion.
If that happens, I would have no hair left. Great problem solved.
Choo has been a thorn in the side of Toxic Attraction for months. You can date it all the way back to the Women's Dusty Road Classic. Shoulders down, inside cradle, and a near fall. Rose just able to kick out, and what a right hand across the bridge of the nose.
Yeah, no shock to me that Mandy Rose...
Another cover. Choo able to kick out once again.
Can do it all. Technician, slugger when she needs to, tactician. You see the cogs turning in her mind right now.
It's a traditional one-on-one matchup, Rose and Choo. Triple threat tomorrow, though, in Chicago at Hell in a Cell. Lynch, Asuka, Belair, Raw, women's title on the line. Belair does not need to be factored in the decision to lose her title, but Rose can lose it right here and just able to kick out.
Fast mover is Wendy Choo when she wants to be. Do not be fooled by the outfit and the antics. Oh, she can go in the ring, but more so, Mandy Rose can go.
Rose trying to prove a point, looking for another championship victory, but Choo again able to kick out.
And this is the frustrating part of Wendy Choo for me. She is capable of brilliance within that ring. To me, her focus is all off course, however.
Well, right now for Wendy Choo, her focus has to be on getting back into this matchup. And now frustration just mounting, building, and bubbling over in the champion.
This is a celebration for Mandy Rose, getting her desserts, getting what she deserves after 220 plus days of epic performances here in NXT. And now she finally gets her hands one-on-one on her bugbear.
Rose did say she believes that she had the most pressure on her, not only tonight, but this weekend.
Well, Mandy Rose has built NXT's women's division into something incredible, something can't miss. She loses tonight to a pajama-clad Wendy Choo. Is that the new figurehead of the division? If it is, all of Mandy Rose's hard work and efforts turn to dust.
Oh, and Rose now looking for submission, and there's nowhere for Wendy Choo to go. And you talk about those antics, Wendy Choo right now has to dig deep, has to be able to break this hold to continue to fight. We've never seen Wendy Choo in this sort of position, so this is newfound territory really for Choo.
But let's be honest, it has been one-way traffic thus far for Choo. We talk highly about Wendy Choo and her abilities tonight. She's in there with the absolute best in the division, and this is what happens. There's levels.
Send it through, shoulders down. It's one way to counter a submission, but wait a minute, Rose countering the challenger who kicks out again at 2. And now it's Choo back, and now it's the champion shoulders down in another near fall. Choo now trying to quicken the pace, trying to pull one out and one maybe over on Mandy Rose here. Maybe looking for, I don't want to say stealing one, but something a little bit sneaky.
Well, it looks like Wendy Choo might finally have woken up. I can't contemplate rolling straight out of bed and getting into the ring without a warm-up. It looks like perhaps she's finally warmed up and is building some momentum. Now she's starting to look like a threat.
And now maybe it's time for Wendy Choo to turn things around. She just turned around the champion, and now Choo. We're gonna see what Wendy Choo is made about. Forget the Slurpees, forget the shenanigans, forget the hijinks. Wendy Choo wants to realize that dream. Wendy Choo wants to call herself the champion.
That time elbow. Instincts of the champ, however, got out of dodge in a hurry.
Well, Rose, as you've mentioned before, is battle-tested, has been in these situations before. Choo has not. And at this juncture, Choo might be just trying to pull out all the stops. Uh-oh, got caught, got dropped.
Unforgiving entranceway, spine buster. That will change the game in a hurry.
Oh, look at Mandy Rose. Rose is taking the high road, walking away, but take another look. Just planting, and you felt the air drive out of Wendy Choo's lungs. You felt the air come out of the NXT universe. The match isn't over yet. I don't know why Mandy Rose is flaunting like she won.
We could get ourselves a count out here. Wendy Choo is badly hurt on the outside, cannot get to her feet.
To that point, Choo could be realizing that dream slipping away. Referee is at 7. Choo's not back to her feet at 8. Wendy Choo at 9. So close, and Choo just broke the count. This match isn't over. Rose is in for a fight and another spine buster. And this has to be it for Rose for day 2 and a draw kick out. Now will you give credit to Wendy Choo? There are some that believe Choo isn't worthy of becoming NXT Women's Champion, but right now, Choo is showing you the heart of a champion.
For the damage she's incurred in this one, I'm surprised she kicked out there, certainly gaining my respect. I'll take nothing away from Choo in ring, but you just cannot put her on the front cover of Vogue in those pajamas and that pillowcase. You can't wear a cow costume with others on the red carpet. A certain gravitas is required, a certain professionalism, a presentation that's rewarded.
What about this?
I cannot endorse Mandy Rose for destroying that damn pillow.
Blatant show of disrespect by the champion, and now the challenger's had enough. And you talk about magazine covers. Wendy Choo doesn't give a damn about magazine covers. She wants to realize her dream.
Ripping up that pillow was like a red rat to a bull.
Choo wants to become champion. And this could be Choo's moment. Oh, Wendy Choo means business. Much like Jerry the King Lawler. Here we go.
She's defaced a Toxic Attraction t-shirt there.
Cares about the t-shirt right now.
What is this?
What is Choo trying to do? The champion trying her best to fight. Choo here. Choo trying to turn the champion over. Ooh. Able to kick out again, and now, oh! It could be nap time. It could be sleepy time for the champion.
Oh no, this is bleak for Mandy Rose.
Rose is fading. Rose is fading. This could be Chu's time. This could be her opportunity. Is Mandy Rose going to be put to sleep? And Rose!
Just when the slippers were hooked in, Mandy Rose showing her championship caliber, breaking the hold, making it to the bottom row. But how much damage has been done to the champ?
Well, like her or not from you, Mr. Barrett, Wendy Chu is showing you a different side tonight. And oh, there's Rose from behind it. Desperation could be setting in for the champion. She realizes now she's in there with the whimsical Wendy Chu. Champion could be out. Chu being rallied by the NXT Universe. And much like we saw Tuesday, could be looking for the,
Oh, brilliant by Mandy Rose, using that jumpsuit to full effect.
And Rose now, bam! Rose into the cover, and she puts Chu to sleep tonight.
Here's your winner, and still the NXT Women's Champion, Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose was in for a fight tonight.
Well, you talked about it perhaps being a long night for Toxic Attraction earlier this evening. It has been a long night, but it's been a successful and glorious long night. Here's how this went down.
And this was really a setting off point almost for Wendy Chu, who became irate, almost as if she saw red. Just planning the champion. Wendy Chu would take it to Mandy Rose, but here was a turning point.
This is brilliant. This is why you wear appropriate attire in ring. Mandy Rose smelled an opportunity with those sleeves on the jumpsuit, grabbed it, capitalized, and put this one to bed for good.
Rose wants respect put on her name.
Oh, what a sight. Get up and celebrate, Vic.
And like them or not, Toxic is still the attraction in NXT.
NXT 2.0. We got the drip, so find your fit. NXT Shop, as close as it gets.
Mandy Rose holds on to the NXT Women's Championship, but now all eyes are on this Tuesday. And which of these ladies will win the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament? Will it be Roxanne Perez or will it be Tiffany Stratton?
You're talking at me? It's extremely rude and you need to stop. If you're trying to get on the good side of the woman who's gonna win this tournament, you're failing.
Wow, so you already think you have this one?
Yeah. If there was a trophy, my name would already be on it because it's the woman's breakout tournament, not the little girl's breakout tournament. Don't you have a bus to catch?
You can make all the insults you want, but this Tuesday is the biggest match of my life. These opportunities may just come naturally to you, but I've had to work for every single one. I'm not walking out this Tuesday without that contract.
Well, this Tuesday we find out who wins the inaugural NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. Will it be Tiffany Stratton or will it be Roxanne Perez?
You are quite literally the worst person of all time.
Well, history indeed will be made this Tuesday, but there we see Bron Breakker getting a few final moments to keep himself centered ahead of our NXT title match here later tonight at In Your House.
October 1994, Julius is born. May 1996, Brutus is born. November 2001, Creed Brothers claim their first tournament title. June 2006, the family's first All-American honors. April 2016, the family's first Olympic trials placement. 2017 to 2020, Creed Brothers are NCAA All-Americans. March 2021, Creed Brothers signed with WWE. September 2021, the Creed Brothers joined Dynamite. February 2022, the Creed Brothers win the Dusty Cup. June 2022, the Creed Brothers become the NXT Tag Team Champions.
brothers have won everything they've ever attempted to win in their lives, but a victory tonight and NXT Tag Gold would top it all.
And you can see all those that are in Creed's corner tonight, including his parents right there in the front row. Their family here as well, and they've been waiting for this moment. Julius Brutus have been waiting for this match to get their hands on the Pretty Deadly.
Yes, but the stakes have really changed now, haven't they? This isn't going back a month or 2 months ago when the dojo got trashed. Things are different now. This isn't solely about vengeance or indeed just about winning gold. The pressure is on the Creeds here. Let's not forget, win or else you are getting the boot from the Diamond Mine, per the words of the leader, Roderick Strong.
And you see the Creed corner with their love for Brutus and Julius. Feel the need for Creed.
I'm feeling the need for some Pretty Deadly. These two are just smoking hot pieces of British beef. Looking resplendent.
Are you done yet?
Looking sexy.
What are you talking about?
Tell it like it is. These boys look good. Yes, boys.
Some can't argue with the vibe or the swag of the champion. Certainly your cup of tea, Mr. Barrett.
Absolutely. They just look like they should be champions forever. Look at this victory pose before the match has even started. This is how you do an entrance.
Oh, the Creed brothers do not seem impressed with the champions heading into tonight.
Well, you mentioned their family was sat at ringside. My sources are telling me that the Creed's mother is secretly pulling for Pretty Deadly tonight, and who can blame her?
What?
Oh,
Who's your source?
Smells so good. I've got private sources. A journalist never reveals his sources.
Your source is probably Pretty Deadly, huh?
You know, just move on, focus.
The following contest scheduled for one fall is for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers, Julius and Brutus, the Creed Brothers. And their opponents, they are the NXT Tag Team Champions, Elton Prince, Kit Wilson, Pretty Deadly.
Pretty Deadly already trying to irritate the challengers. You talk about the stakes becoming different. Of course, if the Creed brothers do not capture those NXT tag team titles, they are out of Diamond Mine. So how does that play into maybe a new strategy for Brutus and Julius?
Well, historically speaking, 99 times out of 100, the challengers in a championship matchup really have nothing to lose, but one slip up tonight, the Creeds have not only blown their big chance at getting gold.
Oh, a quick tag was made, and I don't believe Brutus realized it, that Wilson is now legal.
But they'll also be out of the Diamond Mine, and of course, the Creeds basically need a perfect matchup tonight. Otherwise, it's going to be a complete disaster.
Well, you know, you bring up a complete disaster. It's because of one man. That is Roderick Strong, who made such a strong stipulation. I think some of the NXT universe are wondering why. Why would he do that?
It's great leadership once again from Roderick Strong. Pressure, and let's face it, the Creeds are facing extreme pressure in this very moment. Pressure is what makes diamonds. Take the safety wheels off the Creeds. The best in this industry have always been able to cope with the brightest spotlights, the main events of WrestleManias. They can cope with that pressure. Can the Creeds? That's the question. It's great leadership from Strong. The Creeds perhaps needed to hear a crack of the whip. Their attitudes of late, they've shown insolence to the Diamond Mine and its management.
Well, there's some of the amateur background coming out in Brutus, who is undefeated at NCAA competition. We saw that list of accomplishments from the Creed brothers. Both have such an amateur background, certainly have all the tools to succeed.
Yeah, a ridiculous amount of ability within those robes. Extreme strength, as we've just seen from Brutus. Amazing conditioning, brilliant technique, endurance, perhaps even quick reactions there from Julius Creed. If I had to name a weakness, though, it's the coachability issues that we have seen of late from the Creeds. To me, what, have they developed an ego? Is that the problem?
Wilson now just playing a little cat and mouse and baited Julius in. And look, for Pretty Deadly, this is their MO. This is what their MO is. Rattle their opponents, irritate them, and annoy them until they make a mistake.
Well, it's smart because we've got these two Olympic-level grapplers in there. A couple of guys who came through the collegiate system. They like structure, they like training. Take their focus away from in-ring. Do anything you can to destroy their focus.
Look at the strength of Julius Creed.
Yeah, and then thank your lucky stars you're not in the ring with him.
Blood has been eating Brutus and Julius inside everything that Wilson, everything that Prince has done to the Creed brothers over the last several months.
I was momentarily admiring the eyeliner of Elton Prince.
Come on! And again, Pretty Deadly. Not afraid to, oh, well, finally this might not have worked in Pretty Deadly's favor. Brutus and Julius taking the champs over on the ride.
Right now, Pretty Deadly have had no answer whatsoever.
Double submissions. Ankle lock in the stretch muffler. Prince is legal. Is Prince gonna tap? Referee has his hands full.
4 men in the ring, technically not allowed to give a decision when that is happening. I think the referee was overlooking that rule, however.
Diamond Mine standing tall, and you can see the frustration in Pretty Deadly. Look, this is what the Creed brothers have been waiting for. Pretty Deadly destroyed the Diamond Dojo, ambushed the Creeds, cost them the tag team titles, snaked a victory in the gauntlet match to become champions.
Snaked?
Snaked.
They didn't snake anything. They drew the final spot in the gauntlet match. No cheating, no cutting corners. They did everything asked of them by management, which was to enter the match last and try your best to win.
Well, there is Julius and Brutus' father looking on, front row seat again. Family is here in attendance. Leading the charge of the NXT universe. Julius in control, and you bring up points about Pretty Deadly, and they didn't snake a victory. They had the luck of the draw, whatever you want to call it. They've gone around and have done everything they can to get under the skin of the Creed brothers for months.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't they try and get every single advantage they can? This is a highly competitive arena in NXT. There's a lot on the table, a lot at stake career-wise for these young athletes. Anything you can do to get any form of advantage over any of your opponents, you need to take it.
What a matchup this has been. What a night it has been here. And in your house, do we have new champions? And they check out by Prince.
Yeah, this has all gone bleakly thus far for Pretty Deadly, but they're hanging in there, riding out the storm.
Is this what happens when you finally face the Creed brothers in the right setting, when they haven't competed 2-3 times in one night, when you're not sneaking up behind them, when you're not damaging the dojo, when you have to meet them face to face in the center of the ring?
All right, don't get ahead of yourself. That's all I'm going to say. People have been pulling for the Creeds, including myself, since they debuted. Thus far, they have not been able to capture gold. There is a reason for that.
That's not a tag.
That was a tag.
Oh, all it did was draw the official in and distract Julius. Whoa!
3-on-2 right now. This referee is...
I believe the official said another tag was made. I do believe Brutus is legal, and yeah. Well, there's some antics of Pretty. Sit down, Barrett.
Yes, boy. That's all I'm going to say to you right now. The tide is turning in this matchup.
Well, I just peeked up and I saw Julius's dad talk to him for a moment. Julius nodded in approval, and now Brutus back in the ring.
Is coaching from the audience allowed in NXT? That's the first time I've seen that.
NXT Universe can voice their opinion.
Well,
this is as close as it gets. It's what it's all about. And it's all about right now Brutus Creed, who just took down Wilson. It has been a long night thus far for Pretty Deadly.
Well, just as Pretty Deadly bought themselves an opportunity, the Creeds immediately mashing them back down. And that's some kidney damage every day of the week.
Into the cover, and a kick out this time by Wilson, or we would have been having new champions here tonight in the Creed brothers. Certainly Roderick Strong, Damon Kemp, Ivy Nile looking on right now. Again, if the Creed brothers are not successful, they will be out of Diamond Mine, and I'm sure that'll be a feather in the cap of Pretty Deadly, but Wilson may be out. What an elbow under the jaw. Into the cover goes Brutus, and another near fall.
I am telling you this, in the UK, this collegiate style of competition is really not common. The lads in Pretty Deadly, I don't think they faced anything quite like the Creeds before, and this is an issue. It's a stylistic issue they're having a lot of problems with.
Into the cover now. This is Prince, hook of the leg. And Brutus able to power out. Just sounds like you already have built-in excuses for Pretty Deadly already.
I'm commentating on what I'm witnessing before my eyes. It has been one-way traffic, and every time Pretty Deadly have bought an opportunity, the Creeds bring out something new like this.
Look at the athleticism from Julius, taking out everyone until he was just wiped out, but rolling through. Determination in the eyes.
Oh, they just built a little differently, aren't they, the Creeds?
They certainly are, and Julius, Brutus, to your point, have been in control since the beginning. Oh.
Smartest thing Pretty Deadly have done this far.
I don't think no timeouts. Pretty Deadly has to figure out what is going on in their own mind right now, because
they have to keep their eyes on Julius Creed. That's problematic. That was smart.
Well, Brutus not liking what he's seeing. Official though. Oh, the official trying to hold off Brutus.
Brutus back.
Pretty Deadly with a pretty impactful spine buster to Julius Creed.
That's what you call a game changer. Take a look at this. Driven spine first into
now into the cover to retain the titles, and Julius has to kick out. And you talk about the MO of Pretty Deadly. Their entire careers, they've poked around, they've prodded their opponents until they've made a mistake, and perhaps we just saw that in the Creed brothers. Perhaps we just saw that from Julius Creed.
That's the smartest thing you can do in a championship match. Just hang in there, ride out that storm, live long enough until your opponent makes a mistake. Julius Creed, everything going right thus far tonight. Got too cocky, got a little too confident, turned his back on one of Pretty Deadly. Brutus Creed taking the referee was a massive error there.
And right now there is a bullseye on the back of Julius Creed, right in the middle of his spine. Float over off the suplex into the cover and another near fall, and Brutus senses it. You can see Brutus pacing back and forth, realizing that this matchup now certainly has changed.
But now the experience factor of Pretty Deadly kicks in. They have a wounded duck in the ring in the form of Julius Creed. Keep him isolated, keep Brutus the hell out of there.
Julius trying his best to block, but you wonder how much has been taken out of Julius Creed from the double spine buster on the steel steps. Does he have enough to kick out? And he does, and rolls through, and is almost as if the deep hook of the leg from Prince rolled Julius Creed out of the pin.
Yeah, and I'm hearing some wheezing from the chest of Julius Creed here. This is a man with supreme conditioning and not a man who breathes heavy on any occasion. He might be suffering rib damage, diaphragm damage, not to mention the spine.
And now you take a look at the submission. Not only the submission, but where Julius is, looking right into the eyes of his family, looking right into the eyes of his brother. You can see the pain etched on the face of Julius Creed.
And there's nothing any of them can do to help, because right now Pretty Deadly are doing a perfect job of isolating the wounded man.
Well, Prince still on his feet and senses Julius is getting dangerously close to the tag. And where is Julius? Julius didn't have the strength. The back gave out. The body gave out of Julius Creed.
Just crumbled underneath the weight of Elton Prince. Things starting to look bleak. What a turnaround this match has just experienced.
Brown is now legal from the top. Pinpoint accuracy with some precision. Into the cover, and it's not enough. And kicking out again is Julius. Take another look. Not only the height, look at the precision of the left elbow right into the lower back, right into the spine, and somehow Julius is able to kick out. But Wade, as you know, how much effort is it taking from Julius just to kick out? As simple as that is.
Don't forget the kicking out. Breathing right now is the issue for Julius Creed. Every lungful of air he's sucking in is on fire, and it's just getting worse.
This isn't just a Boston Crab. This is the Stronghold. This is a message to Roderick Strong, the leader of Diamond Mine. That wasn't a tap. Julius Creed continuing to fight, but if Julius taps, if the Creed brothers fall, they're out of Diamond Mine. They have to keep that in the back of their mind. This is more than just about a championship tonight.
Holding that on for all 4 seconds. He's legally allowed to from the count. Smart move there from Kit Wilson, maximizing the damage to Julius Creed. Julius Creed ain't gonna give up. You know, he's gonna be fighting as long as his body will let him. But right now, I question how much longer that's gonna continue.
Oh, pretty deadly using textbook tag team offense in this matchup. They've kept Julius away from his partner, his brother Brutus. But right now it's Julius so close, but can he overpower Prince to make the tag? And just too much right now. And look at Prince right back in his corner. Wilson telling Prince, turn around. Julius made the tag. Oh, no. And in comes Brutus. Brutus smash. Oh! Clobbered away on Prince. Ooh. And now Brutus with his eyes set on destruction.
There's a wrecking machine in the ring right now. The victims pretty deadly at 6s and 7s.
Ask and receive. And Brutus has been waiting patiently on the outside. Brutus, what's he thinking?
Man, that big shouldn't be on the top.
Brutus ball! Cover!
Oh, perfect timing from Kit Wilson. He was about to lose his grip on the NXT Tag Championship. Take another look at this impact from a 300-pounder launching himself off the top rope.
Brutus ball connects. You talk about Brutus throwing caution to the wind. He knows what's at stake right now. He also knows he's got to lay it on the line because Julius is not 100%, but wise of Wilson to drag Prince over to make the tag.
Once again, Brutus Creed back up and swinging all over again. How much damage has been done from that shot to the back of the neck of Brutus Creed, however, moving rather gingerly.
What a tag team contest this has been. Wait a minute. What? Julius was hit with the championship this past Tuesday. Julius looking over at his dad. Oh, cooler heads prevailing. If Julius would have been disqualified, Creed brothers would have lost. They would have been out of Diamond Mine. Instead, tag was made.
Oh, no.
Brutus plants Wilson.
The hell is this?
What's he thinking? Shooting star press! Don't think about it. Bam! Brutus holding Wilson. Julius into the cover. The Creeds have done it.
Here are your winners and new NXT Tag Team Champions, the Creed Brothers.
What a feeling it must be for Julius and Brutus. They stay in Diamond Mine. They win gold. And let's go back at some of the action. Brutus took it upon himself to connect with a high risk. They thought it could be all the reward, but no, right there in the last last moment, Wilson would continue this match, but hey, you got to assume Prince saw the official turning, trying to cut corners a little bit too far. The titles went, ended up in the hands of Julius Creed, who had a moment, who looked over at his father, and with just one look from his dad, Julius realized he knew what he had to do. They had to do it the right way. They had to do it the Creed brothers way. They had to do it the Diamond Mine way. They had to win with honor, and that's exactly what Julius Creed did and brought some athleticism to the party tonight.
Where the hell did Julius Creed pull that move out from?
And then, bam, the exclamation point on the night, the exclamation point on the year. A crowning achievement for the Creed brothers here at In Your House. I can only imagine what the rest of Diamond Mine is feeling. Mom is proud, Dad definitely the true north, as the Creed brothers' moral compass pointed them in the right direction tonight. The Creeds, now the NXT Tag Team Champions.
These are the Broken Skull Sessions, telling damn good stories with the best in the business, while throwing back a couple of cold ones. On this episode, ain't he great? One and only King of the Mountain, Jeff Jarrett. Was this a conversation that you never thought would happen?
Hell has froze over.
What do you mean hell's frozen over? Why would hell freeze? You're sitting across the table from me.
It's kind of surreal.
There's perceived heat between myself and yourself.
I can't tell you how many interviews I've done and said, Stone Cold hates your stinking guts. Why?
Don't miss the Broken Skull Sessions, streaming exclusively on Peacock. Give me a hell yeah!
Mark your calendar, celebrate Independence Day with us Tuesday, July 5th, NXT Great American Bash Live on the USA Network.
I love the Bash.
And what a night it's going to be. What a night it has been here at In Your House, but what a night it is going to be this Tuesday on NXT. Someone's going to make history.
Yes, indeed, because we have the final of the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. Tiffany Stratton takes on Roxanne Perez. Who is going to be NXT's next breakout star?
Not only that, we have never seen anyone stand up to Von Wagner like Josh Briggs has. These two titans will clash one-on-one. Briggs, Wagner, Tuesday on NXT.
And there's more, because Alba Fire has tapped into her heritage and found something very, very special. She will be putting those skills on display this Tuesday as she goes one-on-one against up-and-coming powerhouse Tatum Paxley.
But it is main event time here at In Your House. The NXT Championship is on the line. If Braun Breaker can't control his emotions, if Breaker gets disqualified, Joe Gacy will become the NXT Champion. And what a world we would be living in if Gacy is the face of NXT.
I'm the freaking NXT champion. I will prove why I earned this championship each and every week.
The NXT champion.
Braun Breaker respects the past. My father gave 20 years to this business. A legend.
Congratulations, son. I'm proud of you.
And he's paving the way for the future of NXT.
Braun Breaker can't carry the weight of this brand on his back. Braun Breaker is too emotional. Get this camera out of my face. Too easy to manipulate. Like father, like son. I'm the only one that can guide NXT.
When a man is consumed by his rage, he becomes predictable. And you have a long history of losing your temper. You don't have to do this alone, Braun. Join us. Joe Gacy, with all due respect, man, after everything we've been through, you can kiss my ass. I'm not coming just to beat you. I'm coming to put you unconscious. Take it easy, Braun. You've rejected an opportunity of a lifetime because at NXT In Your House, me and you, one-on-one.
But if you lose control, you'll lose the NXT Championship.
You're on!
I've already lost this championship once. I sure as hell am not going to lose it again to Joe Gacy in your house.
Maybe Gacy's right. I am predictable. But it's not a weakness. It's a strength. I'm going to rip Joe Gacy apart.
One way or another, that NXT Championship is coming home with me. I roughed up your father. I played with your minds. You should inflict pain on me like I've never felt before. You can, Braun! You can go crazy!
Again, if Braun Breaker gets disqualified, he loses the NXT title. I can only imagine the champion's emotions. Braun Breaker literally just ran through a wall. And traditionally, wait, tell me if I'm wrong, traditionally the challenger comes out first. Breaker's breaking the mold. Is this a sign of where his mind is? Is this where he is mentally?
Yeah, and to me that probably is not a good sign, Will. We talked about moral compasses earlier, but for Braun, his moral compass may well be pointing due south right now, and I'm worried that Braun is going to snap at some point. A disqualification here. We know we're going to have a new champion. The question is, can Braun hold it together? And I'm fearful of what the answer might be.
Well, you see Breaker wearing a replica of his Uncle Scott's gear at WrestleMania 9.
Wow. I don't know if that bodes well. Scott Steiner was the most hot-headed superstar in WWE history. That is not what Braun Breaker needs this evening.
Challenger Joe Gacy has to like what he sees at the moment.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. He knows he is already deeply embedded in the mind of the champion, Braun Breaker.
Wait, are you prepared to be in an NXT that is molded by this diabolical superstar? I mean, really think about that. Really think about it. If Braun Breaker snaps, we're living under Gacy's thumb.
Yeah, and what a scary proposition that happens to be. Joe Gacy is going to turn NXT into a dystopian wasteland if he grabs power here. Tyranny, authoritarianism, misery. That is what we are looking at if Gacy wins the NXT Championship this evening. That's not a future that I want any part of.
Looking into the eyes and the empty soul of the next NXT champion. Joe Gacy making the champion wait, making Braun Breaker think even more. Possibly the champion psyching himself out.
The following contest scheduled for one fall is for the NXT Championship! Introducing first the challenger, Joe Gacy! And his opponent, he is the NXT Champion, Braun Breaker!
Ooh, and right off rip, Gacy getting right into the head of the champion. And an early test for Breaker. Look at Breaker.
He's not passing it right now. The bell hasn't even rung.
I mean, this is $1 million question.
He's flattened the referee.
How can Breaker stay calm and control tonight? How? As he goes right after Gacy.
Listen, how am I supposed to answer that question? How can Braun stay calm and control? First of all, it's just not in his nature. And with that said, if somebody had put me through what Joe Gacy has put Bron Breakker through over the past couple of months.
Breakker right in on Gacy, the referee, though. You hear the referee counting. If Breakker gets disqualified because he goes too far, he's going to lose the title.
Yes, he is. And look, he had his Hall of Fame father, Rick Steiner, kidnapped. If that happened to me, I'd lose my rag too. I'd lose my temper, and I'm not a hothead like Bron Breakker. Who can blame him?
Oh, and Gacy taking down Breakker. So do you believe Breakker's heritage of aggression is going to be his downfall here tonight, seeing as he hasn't really passed the test up front?
Breakker's problem is that he has no pressure release valve. We've seen Bron fly off the handle in locker rooms, be goaded into bad decisions like defending his championship in a triple threat matchup at NXT Stand and Deliver. Bron could snap in a heartbeat. We know that. And when you lose the gold, if you were disqualified, that is a very dangerous predicament to find yourself in.
Look, Wade, you've won the Intercontinental Championship 5 times. You've been in the ring with all sorts of legends and Hall of Famers. Do you believe that Bron is too aggressive, that he's prone to lashing out? Do you buy into what Joe Gacy is selling?
It's his biggest strength and his biggest weakness. In ring, I love the aggression for the most part. It has taken him to the top of NXT in breakneck speeds, almost from the first month that he got here in NXT. But out of the ring, clearly, it is a massive, massive issue for him. His temper makes him too easy to manipulate, too predictable, and too easy to toy around with like Joe Gacy has done.
The NXT Universe barking out. Tip of the cap to Bron's Hall of Fame father. The dog-faced gremlin Rick Steiner is now Breakker. Slowly, methodically, maybe trying to calm himself down, but there again, these... Oh, come on. Think about it, Bron. Oh, the distraction opens the door for Gacy. The odds certainly stacked against the champion tonight.
That momentary hesitation of Bron Breakker, he had to overthink his natural reaction, which was to start swinging that steel chair. That's how he got disqualified against Duke Hudson, remember? That momentary lapse in concentration and focus is all it took for Joe Gacy to take complete control.
And now Gacy in control, and we've seen in recent weeks it's Gacy preying on Breakker's past with photos, with videos.
Yeah, photos of him playing football as a kid, pictures of his family. How the hell Joe Gacy managed to get his hands on that material is beyond me, but it has clearly affected Bron Breakker. He attacked Duke Hudson in the locker room.
Gacy quickly now realizes this could be the door that opens, and Breakker able to fight out, kick out at 2. And back to Joe Gacy. Gacy even said the childhood anger was never corrected from Bron Breakker.
He's a manipulative individual, and he is reading Bron Breakker like a book. He knows every strength, every weakness, and he's managed to stack the deck tonight completely in his favor. And this is all with Bron knowing exactly what Gacy's strategy has been from the beginning, exactly what he's been trying to do. It's Gacy's game right now. Bron's just trying to resist it, and I'll say this, he's failing.
Oh, and Gacy has been playing mind games almost perfectly. You know, we talk about the upbringing, the videos, the photos. It's Gacy who has blamed Breakker's upbringing, and we know how much Breakker loves his family. His dad is his hero. Breakker has pulled Gacy has pulled the right strings of Breakker for the last several months. Bam! And that certainly is as close as it gets.
I wouldn't like to be too close at all to the eyes and the maniacal face of Joe Gacy, but unfortunately we're also getting closer to Joe Gacy getting his grips on the NXT Championship and all the power that comes with it.
And Gacy, good sense, a championship reign, and Breakker again able to kick out. Gacy wants the champion to show truly who he is, and if he does, if Breakker can't compose himself and a disqualification happens, I mean, there are so many ways for Joe Gacy to win the championship tonight. Bron Breakker's back really against the proverbial wall.
It's the smartest thing that Joe Gacy could do. I don't know if there's anybody in NXT who can match the power and physical presence of Bron Breakker, but tap into something internal, tap into the weaknesses in that mind, then you might have yourself an opportunity.
Well, we certainly have seen a metamorphosis in recent months of the challenger here on NXT.
Gacy has taken the crowd right out.
Cover, and Breakker has to kick out once again.
Talk about that metamorphosis that we've seen from Joe Gacy. He arrived in NXT many moons ago, saying profound things that made us think about inclusivity.
Well, the first Hell in a Cell took place at and in your house tomorrow night. Rollins, Rhodes enter the sadistic structure, but tonight our champion has entered his own personal hell.
This is less about inclusivity now. However, the mask is slipped. We see what it was really about all along. This is about taking over NXT, taking over the world, in fact, and grabbing power by any means necessary.
No, you talked about the NXT universe there right now, trying to get back into it to feed some life into Bron Breakker, and they perhaps have. Breakker able to roll through, shoulders down, and able to kick out. Oh, look at the counter. Look at the submission. Look at the transition. Gacy now trying to wear down and put down Breakker.
Locked in center of the ring. Take that anger, take that resentment out of Bron Breakker. Ground him. You might get yourself an opportunity. Can't see him tapping out, but who knows?
Gacy now implementing this submission hold, and we talked about earlier in the matchup, it was Bron Breakker who bounced off not only the steel post, but also a steel chair. Can wonder what damage has been done as Gacy focusing on the midsection, not allowing the air to get into the body of Bron Breakker. Breakker now trying to shift his momentum, certainly has shoulders down. Gacy has to relinquish the hold to kick out to continue this matchup, and Gacy up and down, planting with a Uranagi, the champion.
Expression.
Gacy into the cover again and continuing to push forward in this matchup is Bron Breakker, but for how much longer? Of course, it was Breakker who rejected the opportunity to join Gacy. Gacy said that would be the downfall to Breakker and to all of NXT.
What a opportunity it was. Come drink from my poison chalice.
What is this?
Who the hell would want to follow this guy?
Baiting in the champion, and oh, just caught Breakker with a DDT. Gacy again into a cover, and another near fall, but how much is left in the tank of Bron Breakker? We can question the mind of Joe Gacy. You can look into the soulless eyes of the challenger, but Gacy has had a plan since day one, and he is executing it to perfection, whether we like it or not. Facts are facts.
Gacy has played this entire thing to perfection. Stacked the deck in his favor. Played Bron like a fiddle.
Oh, Breakker! Oh, and a nasty landing for Gacy. And this now could be Breakker's moment. A couple of deep breaths. Shake some feeling back into the right arm. Get back into this matchup.
This has to be your moment, Bron. If it doesn't come now, I don't know if it's coming at all. You sense the momentum starting to build, the belief starting to build in the NXT universe.
And Breakker getting Gacy back into the ring. Breakker wants to win this in the squared circle. Doesn't want to take an easy way out, but the anger and the resentment that Breakker has for Gacy can't consume him tonight. Momentary lapse in judgment could cost him another kick out.
Just that easy for Joe Gacy, thanks to the damage that Bron has already incurred in this matchup.
Take another look first. This landing, bam! Face first, but back into the ring. Just a moment opens the door for Gacy to clobber the champion.
And it's too easy to overlook with all the nonsense that Joe Gacy brings to the table. It's too easy to overlook how good he actually is in this ring. How rugged he is, his athleticism, and clearly his drive and desire to get to the top.
Well, Gacy has continued to antagonize the champion throughout this entire match for the last couple of weeks, and are we closing in on the Joe Gacy era here in NXT, and what a different feel NXT would be. Gacy continuing, and I can only imagine what Joe Gacy is saying into the ear of Bron Breakker.
Yeah, certainly not whispering sweet nothings. The soft talk is gone from Joe Gacy.
Continuing to talk as Gacy, continuing to get into the mind of Bron Breakker, and Breakker really has, I hate to say, stalled in this matchup.
He's running with a flat tire at this point.
Uh-oh. And now Breakker might have put some air back in the tire.
Finally getting pumped up at a most opportune time.
Ooh. Breakker trying to remember all the life lessons his father taught him. Never to quit, never to stop, always be determined, always bring your best. And that spine buster connects.
How much did that move alone take out of Bron Breakker?
What? Gacy rolling to the outside. What's Bron thinking? Oh! We talk about pulling out all the stops. Bron Breakker is reaching deep into the playbook tonight.
Where the hell is he finding this adrenaline from to spring over the top rope, land down on Gacy despite the damage already incurred to that mammoth frame of Bron Breakker? Certainly has his second win now. Can he retain control mentally, however?
And Bron maybe looking for the bulldog. Wait a minute! Gacy! The numbers have been... Oh, wait! Come on! Wait a minute. Breakker's pleading his case. Great job by the officials, because if Breakker would have gotten disqualified, he would have lost the NXT title. Wait a minute, inside cradle, center of the ring, center of the ring. Oh, Breakker had to kick out, and Breakker now.
Trick from the Guerrero playbook didn't quite work, thankfully, for NXT and Bron Breakker.
And Bron Breakker is bringing it now. And Breakker. With Breakker. Oh! Well, we say as close as it gets, Barrett. That was almost too close.
Almost landed in my lap, almost broke my leg.
We said Gacy was welcoming Bron's aggression. He may be thinking twice about that now.
Screaming in agony beside us is Joe Gacy. Was that the moment his championship dreams went up in smoke?
I just looked right into Bron's eyes for a moment. You can see the gears are rolling. The months of torment, what has happened to his dad, what has happened to the rest of his family.
All he needs to be thinking right now is maintain control. Get this match over with.
And now Breakker, I think, has the same mindset as Breakker. Looking down, trying to hit that signature bulldog. Second time is the charm. Breakker to retain. Gacy kicks out. But Breakker, look at Bron's eyes. Bron has to now control those emotions. Bron now has to remain in control. Harness everything.
Frustrated look in his eyes, and that is when he's at his most dangerous to his opponent, and indeed in this matchup himself.
Gacy's baiting Bron. Bron, think about it. Bron, think about it. Cooler heads again, prevailing. No! The official didn't see the low blow. Gacy! No! Oh, kick out! Oh, man!
My heart just stopped.
Damn, that was close.
Joe Gacy.
NXT Universe is on their feet. And what? Again. Don't lose your cool. It wasn't aiming for the official. Wait a minute. Gacy's spear out of nowhere. Game changing.
Braun just baited in Joe Gacy.
And with the NXT Universe behind him, Breakker raises up Gacy. What goes up goes down. Breakker retains.
Here is your winner, and still the NXT champion, Braun Breakker.
We talk about the maturity of a champion. We talk about a maturity of an NXT superstar. Braun Breakker just took a giant leap in that department.
Well, look at this from Braun Breakker pulling out every trick in the book, including some new offense like this, managing to turn this match around. It's all got lost, and here is the moment for Joe Gacy where it starts to turn into a disaster of a night.
That's a nasty landing for Joe Gacy, who all night, for weeks, for months, has been begging to have the nasty side, the aggressive side of Braun Breakker, who delivered a bulldog probably with his father on his mind. Wasn't enough to keep Gacy down, who continued to bring it. But again, Braun let his cooler head prevail for most of the matchup, but Gacy had underhanded tactics at every turn. Behind the official's back, the low blow almost brought the gold to Joe Gacy, but Breakker would continue to push through, would continue to keep calm, and even was able to take out a little bit of aggression on others, and then bam! This big spear was, as I noted, a game changer in this match.
This is the moment that Braun Breakker passed a very different kind of test this evening. Control of his body, control of his mind. It's a rare moment in his young career, but one that bodes well for his future.
You can only imagine the emotions for the champion. Breakker has conquered his emotions, vanquished his demons, and for Braun Breakker, he has restored order to his NXT.